unusual superpowers to bring you entertainment.
Please, Mr. Zombie, don't eat me. I've got fibromyalgia. I've got gout.
And welcome to the Business Party Podcast. Another fucking day. We weren't here last week, but we're here this week. And and we're joined by Zan John. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let the people know what you got kind of got going on and plug whatever you have.
Thank you so much. Well, first off, I want to thank both of you for the opportunity. Not too many people really want to hear me speak. Whenever I'm invited somewhere, it's by accident or they didn't properly vet who they're inviting. But my name is Zan, which is short for Alexander, last name John. I know it's a weird last name, but my grandpa came over from Ellis Island and wanted to sound American. So I'm Zan John. I'm from Louisiana. I'm running for Senate for the second time.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I put an S by mistake. I put his name there. If nobody knows how to spell it, there it is my hero. I found I was flipping through TikTok and I saw one of your videos. And I was like, and as soon as you got to the 9/11, if you really think 3 buildings were brought down by 2 planes and then the Federal Reserve, and I went, we got to have this guy on.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the digital currency. And I'm like, this dude's just hitting on everything we talk about. And I was like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, I gotta get him somehow. And, you were gracious enough to hit me back and, started talking and here you are. But yeah, man, it's your takes on things and the fact that when you got thrown out of that what was it?
That was October 1st in Lake Charles, yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't because you asked what is a woman?
You would think that actually for first take, but I can send you all the raw clips. The moderator who invited me, who kept on saying he's an attorney and breaking an arm, jerking himself off, you can actually see, so there's 4 cameras on me. I had my wife, my good buddy, a lady I know who's a realtor, and my laptop. Whatever. Anyway, so you got 4 fucking angles on this. All right. My wife, who was filming me from the profile sideways, as I'm saying I'm Zan John, and then I started spouting off some of those things, you could see he started doing like this. You know what I'm saying? Like holding. Side. Like he was doing all this shit to this, to the lady. But I didn't notice it because I just started, just cranking out as fast as I can. They always give you, they time you like, okay, candidates, no one can speak past, Vicky will hold up when there's 15-second play. And it's like, they make up all these gay rules, right? And so I'm like, okay, I have a minute, I have 2 minutes or 30 seconds. Okay, how much can I cram in? So I'm just like, because I know that people are going to roll their eyes, tune out, whatever.
Right.
And, anyway, so that day that I got kicked out was really mind-blowing because they were the most adamant people to have me. As in, I still have all the text messages, emails, like, are you sure you're coming? You this, you that, make sure you're early. I'm like, bitch, I'm an hour early for everything.
Nice.
I always want to get you on a technicality. You never let, when I was in law school, when I worked in oil and gas, older men that are insecure about their job and want to protect it, they don't want new lawyers, they don't want you to do that. They always want to get you on, he was late, his shoes was on time, no. I come and
True.
That way you can't say a fucking thing. You got to get me on my character. Anyway.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. Yeah, he's like, you know what, I'm going to stop this. And when I was like, okay, why are you doing this? What's going on? He's like, I'm trying to have a debate for candidates. I'm like, of which I am. I'm like, and like he could not refine the scope. He was butthurt. And what kills me is not only are they adamant about having me come, it's like, okay, y'all invited me. Those kind of go hand in hand. But you sit there the whole time and go, I'm attorney, whatever his name is, like Boss Skoggs, so you own the loadout. But I don't know what. He kept on saying, I'm attorney. I even looked at my wife and my buddy was like, how many fucking times? I was like, y'all keep it like someone get it, like sliding the bean on the abacus, you know what I'm saying? Like attorney. I'm like, okay, we fucking get you're educated, dude. Get over yourself. So being this highfalutin person you are, which I've never heard of, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't handle a different version of reality, at least civilly, nor refine the scope of why I have to leave. But anyway, I don't want to steal y'all's thunder. Anyway, yes.
Listen, I'm actually gonna play the clip really quickly so everybody can see what we were talking about.
Thank you.
No problem. Let's see. We are just idiots when it comes to this. We're just, so I'll do
Well,
the best.
see,
can.
what I think is awesome is having somebody on like you that is running, and the fact that you are running for Senate, and that you do have like the same perspective like on a lot of things that we do, especially like, first thing whenever I heard on that one video about 9/11, I was like, all right, this is my guy. I agree with him on quite a bit of shit.
Yeah, here's the video.
I just want to ask anyone who is Democrat, what is a woman? Can you define that?
Okay, this is Red Hogg's attorney, and at this time, I'm going to pause the questioning. And this is, I think, Mr. Jones?
So there's Zan John.
San John. I'm going to have to actually leave this session.
Okay, y'all recorded that, right? Y'all recorded? Say that again? Wait, say it loud. Y'all recorded?
No.
Point it with me.
This is Attorney Red Hogg. This is a show that I host. I'm here to allow candidates an opportunity to speak on things that are important to this election. And so with that,
How these are not important is mind blowing. So this is subjective to you. This is not objective. I'm leaving. Don't worry. I'm leaving.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Mind blowing.
I really like how Colonel Sanders stood up like he was actually important.
I said Leghorn, but you see, like, given the opportunity, if I'm so fucking bad, what did I do? What did I do?
You asked a question.
Not even that, man. Like, okay, attorney. This is attorney again. Like I said, I was not exaggerating. Every 5 seconds, I'm attorney. It's like cuckoo, cuckoo. Like it just every 2 minutes, he's gonna say that, and it's like,
right.
But listen, it's because there's a different version of reality out there. It's because a lot of people don't know where to turn anymore for good information. And when I had a friend reach out from Russia just now, she wants me back on her show. I was like, well, let me show you the Greek on the Ocelli effect, which is a whopping channel, fellas. A whopping channel. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He said whenever you have someone like the Greek on your channel, you're gonna like have people's hairs on the back of their neck stand up. Okay.
Love it. Nice.
Places, dates, addresses, and stuff. That's why he goes by the Greek. This guy will get whacked. But he's been to those Babylonian schools. He teaches the like George Soros and Bill Gates kids all sorts of stuff that we're not allowed to know as like just cockroaches on this earth. But anyway, so I go to send this lady the playlist. Whole channel's wiped out. I was like, you're kidding me. The Ocelli effect with Chuck Ocelli completely gone. Him and his 25, and I think he had 2 out of the playlist deals with the Greek, completely gone. But y'all, you should pull it up now. Greekspeak.com, Uncommon Sense Radio #1 at gmail.com. And he's this guy out of Tucson, Arizona. And he contacted me. And when I have my first YouTube channel, because I always reach out to people. If someone's interested in something or leaves a comment, as long as it's neutral or positive, I will say, hey, here's my number. Skip the bullshit. Look, fucking FaceTime me. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's get down to brass tacks. I'm not here to keep distance from anyone. This guy calls me and was like, I can tell you're real because you don't have the biggest following and you're not trying to sell anything or make money. He's like, you're what I call a seeker. I was like, okay, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I'm saying?
All right,
then he started talking about, and he's not one of those like cuckoo people that calls you and like gives you a random update you didn't want. This guy starts telling you about names of like lieutenant colonels who are at the Church of Satan and all this kind of stuff. Like you can start looking up. You ever heard of Michael Aquino, fellas?
Uh-uh.
No.
Okay, there's the Presidio military base in San Francisco that had tons of underground tunnels dug, and what that is where the Golden Gate Bridge and all that, that's actually a military base that they turned over to citizens. And that also, too, is a federal installment, and it's laced with nukes, but not to kill people, but just federal buildings and tons of federal projects are built with nukes in them because if you build them up, they want you to be able to break them down. And there's an agency for it, like the National Nuclear something. Anyway, you can look this up. There's a guy, if you want to bring it up on Google, you can screen share. His name's Michael Aquino, Aquino, called the Colonel. The Colonel is tied to the Franklin scandal. The Franklin scandal is the cover-up of the Boys Town in Omaha, Nebraska, tied to, this was like the Jeffrey Epstein case blown open before Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I think Jeffrey Epstein's the guy that picked up the slack with all the high-profile child trafficking. But it goes deeper than what you think. A couple politicians sodomizing children is like G-level Disney stuff. They take kids in military bases on levels deep beneath, and they like boil them in human waste and film it and send it to these elites, these George Soroses and hire all the Stark nobility, Queen Beatrix, House of Orange, Habsburg, all this stuff of the Netherlands. What is it?
Is he from he's from the Philippines?
Not the Philippines. What?
It says Colonel Michael A. Aquino, founder of the Temple of Set.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Wait. He went out to Vietnam and came back, and then I also and that's where they learned to kill and get away with all this and acquire this. But I also heard, this is really going to be deep for y'all, but I there's a guy who's really big in the secret space program community, and his name is Daryl James, and Daryl served at St. Morgan or Lord Morgan or whatever out in the British at the British bases, and he was let in on deep underground stuff and saw Michael Aquino like swap out with a different extraterrestrial, and the extraterrestrial with the consciousness in Michael Aquino's body would go out, harvest all these kids, rape them, kill them, all this stuff. But it's tied into, if you open up a new tab, type in Johnny Gosh, type in Ted Gunderson.
You're gonna have to spell these. Johnny. You're gonna have to...
Gunderson. Back out of all that. Ted Gunderson.
Okay.
Enter. See what it says about him.
Ted Gunderson. This guy.
I can't see, fella. He was a retired FBI agent who died maybe in 2005.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you can scroll far enough, because YouTube downplays all of this, he speaks from testimony. He was pulled out of retirement. Let me tell you about this guy. He was pulled out of retirement for the Dr. McDonald case in South Carolina. Let me tell you about this. What happened was Mr. McDonald was the scapegoat for a satanic ritual on a military base. Okay? On the military base, a lot of highfalutin generals or they're all Satanists. Okay? I don't know anything about like the Church of Satan or anything, but I do know that it's real. A lot of people practice for reasons of trying to gain power. Anyway, so while he was gone working, they bust in the house, hit them and a couple like legit prostitutes, slice up all the kids, all this kind of stuff, rape, kill, just anything grotesque you can imagine. The dude comes home, freaks out, calls the MPs, and because they don't want to blow open this investigation with the facts, they cover it up and say the husband did it. Okay, so that happened. No link to Ted Gunderson yet. Well, the DAs or whoever his defense is like, holy crap, this guy's innocent. We need help. We're being overruled right now. They want to throw this guy away with 2 or 3 life sentences. Well, what happens was they didn't know what to call, so they call this guy they know is honest, Ted Gunderson in Tampa, Florida. He was a retired FBI agent, and Ted picks up the phone. He always tells his story. He's like, look, I'm not. If I smell 1% bullshit, I'm fucking walking away. Don't waste my time. I'm not coming out of retirement for anything. Ted goes up there, freaks the fuck out at what's going on. Kept on trying to get evidence. Evidence kept on going missing. He talked about the clippings that would have from the daughters whenever they were trying to fight back when they're being raped and killed. All the nail clippings gone, hair samples gone. And he finally was able to get names and dates and found one prostitute who had finally talked to him. And he blows open that because she knew all about it's an antique toy. And stop me if I'm talking too much, fellas. This is y'all show.
No, it's all good.
No.
That, like, okay, it's like a little bitty toy horse that a 3-year-old can mount, and in each corner is a spring, and they kind of just
You
know how the back leg was broken on one of them in the child's room. She was dropping specific facts, right? He finally gets her to squeal. Okay, it's tied into all these sex rings. The CIA bringing in cocaine under George Herbert Walker Bush under Zapata Petroleum, which is funny because they would ship cocaine offshore and put it at offshore locations because they could skip customs on the way in. And I know I used to work all offshore. I'll show you my offshore map. I don't know if you can see with the glare, but that's all the offshore blocks of Louisiana and some oil reservations. But anyway, it's crazy that I was out in the Gulf out there and knowing how much just drugs and stuff they would move. But the point I'm trying to make is, I know it makes such a long-winded point, is there's such sick and bad things going on that normal people can't handle it, and they Stockholm out. And the ones that
Right.
are rational, and you know what? For all I know, that guy, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to think he's a G. You know, I'm sure I want to think he's a G. And I just think, you know, if all you know is CNN and this, nothing against black people, but if he might have not had a father figure in his life to say, son, turn that shit off, go grab a weed eater, go sweat outside, just be a man. I could very well be wrong. But the point I'm trying to make is maybe they just don't even know where to turn. And even if you're like me and you do know where to turn to get some evidence, you got to scroll all the way to the end of YouTube, which takes like 30 minutes. You got to log into InfoWars, which you have to dial in the actual, URL, or you have to know about natural news and censored.tv and all this crap. And when you go to try and find something about the Ocelli with the Greek, who goes even deeper than Ted Gunderson, was stuff like, man, I know I'm building this guy up, but when you listen to him, like, you just shut the fuck up, and I just start taking notes. I look up everything, and I'm just like, we are so fucked. But I want to get up and do something, man, and I can't sit back and eat shit. You know, I was the only guy in 2020, whenever they launched this whole bullshit agenda, wear a mask, all this kind of stuff. I just thought to myself, okay, our founding fathers built this country by standing up. And nothing is less free than putting a fucking mask on my face. And guess what? On the goddamn box, it says, does not protect against viruses.
Right.
And this isn't me trying to like shit on the left because I don't like them. This is like just actual like.
Well, just logic and science. It's like, I mean, like
I know.
when that first started coming around, what was it, down to the nanometer of the size of the virus and the holes in the mask. It's like a fucking fence trying to keep out a mosquito. It like literally, it's like, come on.
That's exactly it. But it's all about compliance. It's all about what can we do. And you know what that is? That's a big litmus test. They're getting that little strip, they're dipping it in the pool of the citizenry, and they're going, oh wow, it's on purple. These motherfuckers are ready to get, ass fucked. And I was just thinking, my mom's this huge liberal, went to Loyola, went to Columbia, all this shit, right? And she's like, Alexander, you cannot come over. You do not have a mask. You do not vaccinate. Like tearing up, crying on the phone. I'm like with my friends, like putting it on speakerphone, like, y'all fucking hearing this? I'm like, Mom, they tell you to put a fucking 8-inch dildo on your fucking ass because it helps cure cancer or whatever. Are you gonna fucking do it? I'm like, I'm like, click your brain back on. For 2 seconds.
My favorite was when they told you one, and then they were all like, wait, are you wearing 2, Dr. Fauci? He's like, yeah, one's not good. 2 is a little better for you.
That's
and I'm like,
and if you look up, CNBC put 7 masks ends racism.
Wow.
It was 1 mask good, 2 masks better. Then it was like 7 ends racism.
Yeah, because everybody's gonna be dead, so there's no possibility of any racism. You can't even breathe.
I thought it was a joke. Like, let's see how many. Listen, we got them to wear 1. Let's see if we can get them to wear 2. We got them to wear 2. Let's see if we get them to wear 3. Come on. And then we're just throwing bets on. Like, okay, I'll give you $100. Let's see if we get 4.
Well, dude, what was it? God damn it, New York guy, De Blasio. He was tempting people with fucking burger and fries and shit at that one. And he's like sitting there eating them and shit. He's like, these are so delicious.
Like, does this burger look good to you? It tastes good to me. Like,
bro, someone worse. Yeah.
Oh man, you want to talk about like collusion for real? Like, oh man, like shit was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah,
it was. Stop. Where does it stop? Submitting to it. Listen, you don't comply your way out of tyranny. So submitting to it doesn't make it better. My life is significantly harder, but at least I can sleep at night and I know I'm not losing my mind and I'm not giving in. Like I always tell people this, you're not being conquered by the Romans. We're not being given fresh water, being taught how to read, write, and fight. You get what I'm saying? Like I could understand if someone came from another galaxy, started slapping us around, but I was like, hold on though. Big booty, Rolls Royce, couple million. All right, I don't like this purple suit y'all make me wear, but you know what? Fuck it. Like I can do it. No. We're being dumbed down, sterilized, and they kiss on our back and tell us it's raining.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, every day.
And that's day. That's like the fucked up part about what's going to be happening now. What they're trying to push is the whole deal with like the vaccine mandate possibly happening like totally federally or whatever with like the kids in the school system. Do you know like all the like they're just going against all the fucking science It's really coming out now with like the myocarditis shit and all these younger kids having all the fucking blood clots. Like that one kid had 6 feet of blood clots pulled out of his legs.
Wow, look, you're a conspiracy theorist. That is global warming.
That is global warming, right? Okay, stop
This
it.
guy.
That's my favorite though. Everything is global warming or racism. Like I don't like this. I saw this headline and it threw me. Like, are you kidding me? Where to go?
They tie the agenda they want to push to something that it like happens daily. You know what I'm saying? Pausing at red lights causes racism. You know, it's like, well, hold on, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's like, okay, what do we need to push today? Racism, this, that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, what do people do during a normal day? Breathe, blink their eyes, wake up. You know, it's like,
Well, that's like I don't even understand how CNN can still operate after that Project Veritas shit where they said they literally pushed
Because they're
propaganda
propped
to
up. That's the thing.
get fucking Trump out, and then he said that they're going to be pushing climate crisis. Look what's happening now. It's like they're telling you the playbook, motherfuckers. Come on.
They're giving everything they're gonna do to you on a platter, and you still got people going, no, that's not what. No, the government knows what they're doing. But look, this is what working class Latino voters, once solidly Democratic, are shifting towards Republicans. And the New York Times opinion says, as the U.S. becomes less white supremacy can simply be replaced by or buffeted by a form of light supremacy in which fair-skinned people perpetuate a modified anti-blackness rather than eliminating it. Are you kidding me? So now the Spanish people are white supremacists now? Light supremacists, they're calling them?
light supremacists.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you gotta love it. We live in idiocracy right now.
Yeah, we really do. Did we lose you? You there?
no, I'm here. No. Listen, they bunch up all the people that they can't control and then they don't want into this middle class and white people. It's not even middle class and white people. It's anyone who wants to change, but they label you as that. That way they can brand their opposition as this group and try and destroy us. Okay. Too, what really hurts is the fact that there's people that are complacent. I always use my father as an example. Someone that has a big corporation, lots of money, all the fine wine in the world, and he won't do anything about it. He sticks his head in the sand. He became a shut-in. You know, he's embarrassed the fact that I'm running. You know, I get no support from my family, no funding from them. You would think they would just like donate for a tax write-off. Hell no. They don't like all the heat being brought down on them, and I'm just like, okay, I don't get it. You know, like I would be so proud if my son on his own actually qualified, like all the federal vetting you have to go through, like they dig through your life with a fine-tooth comb before you get in there. And it's quite costly to fee. But look, I'd do it if it was double the digging in and double the fee. That's not it. I'm just saying there are people that have resources that are not part of the cabal, that are just not miserable enough yet. Okay, that still get to ride around in their Mercedes and Rolls Royce and play golf and all this crap, and they're not feeling the hurt. So there's these little pockets of wealth that if we could get those people to get off their fucking ass and do something and not deny what the fuck's happening and actually help people like you and I, fund y'all so y'all could be on prime time from 5 till 6, you know, Monday through Friday, you know, on some main deal, you know, like, and me with some billboards and commercials, just sticking my gator boots up a liberal's ass or something. Just something. You know, we make it. It's contagious, man. I mean, that's why you reached out to me. My message resonated with you because you're like, wait, hold on. I'm not being spoon-fed bullshit. I'm not being told I'm white and I'm bad. Wait, hold on. Someone out there has views like mine. Of course I do. And you know what? There's a lot more people like us, and there's two things that are stopping us. One is there's tons of censorship, okay? So we probably would have met sooner in life, okay, if I wouldn't shut down. And secondly, there's the people that know about this and don't want to do anything about it. Not that even the people with the resources are talking about that, like this upper class. There's the people that are just like, you know what, I probably shouldn't. I don't, you know, it's like, look, if everyone at work that was white and straight or conservative just started talking about Trump in the workplace and got fired today, we'd have enough people to form our own institutions, set up our own payroll, have our own schools and law schools and all this stuff for our own upward mobility. But because we're all sparsed out, because one person quits at a time and then, you know, has to go get another job 2 weeks later, this and that, you know, I bit the bullet. I'm not saying y'all didn't. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm simply saying in 2020, I branded myself as whatever the deep state or the left would call a white supremacist, all this crap, right? I can't get a job. I can't anything unless I want to dig ditches or go, rake leaves or something. Sure, you get what I'm saying? But I can't get loans, all this stuff, and it's never because I wouldn't make the bank money back, or it's never because I wouldn't make good grades or anything. It's because when you Google me, it's Zanjon tied to Trump, American flags, all this stuff, and just being a proud patriot. And you're not allowed. The cost of being a patriot nowadays is too high for most people. Luckily, I had my house paid off. I saved up a bunch of money from whatever. I did work offshore, and I'm surviving right now. Anyway, but if more people would just bite the bullet, we could all really, in turn, help ourselves. But we're in the beginning. I'm telling you, listen, this is going to go one of two ways. One, we're never going to be remembered, and all this shit's going to be just disappeared in about 10 years. Okay, we're going to be in gulags. Or we're going to be the first, and we're going to be the guys that get the bragging rights to go around saying, motherfuck everyone. You get what I'm saying? We're going to be the guys that are like, oh, yeah, like sitting back, cutting the big porterhouse, laughing, you know what I'm saying? Drinking all no, bitch, back in 2020, and all the other people, we have an autograph. Look, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be one of two ways, man. And it's tough. We are rolling the dice. We're putting our fucking necks on the chopping block, you know?
Well, that's because, everything's led by a certain kind of viewpoint. Like you said, you can Google you and all of a sudden you don't get a bank loan. Look what they did to Kanye West. $140 million. JP Morgan just went, okay, no problem. No, thank you. All because he made statements. Like, come on. Like, what?
They're scared of his influence. It's not him. It's just like Trump. They're not scared of Trump. They're scared of Trump's audience.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what they do. And everybody said it. If you shut Alex Jones down and you let them and you cheer Alex Jones being deplatformed, they're coming for everybody else.
The tip of the pyramid.
Right.
Yeah.
You think Trump, Alex, all them, Tucker Carlson, then they're going to come down to us. And then that's with them. They're used as a test case. And not only that, people should know that, let's just say Alex Jones did legally meet the elements of defamation. Okay. Let's just say he fucking did. Okay. Let's just say he pulled the trigger. Listen. There is a $5 million cap of defamation charges. There are caps to tort verdicts, and states, they all have their own caps. So, like, when they put out $8 billion, whatever that is, you get what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, hold on. Anyone who went to law school and understands torts, which is one of the sections of, tortion to twist, a wrongdoing happened, where you breach the duty to act reasonable to someone, you can't have these runaway verdicts anymore. Like, I think the last one was like in 1985 with Joe Jamel, where he made like $10.2 billion, got to keep 1.5, like became the richest trial attorney yet. They started capping things like, okay, like y'all can get some damages, but no one's getting $85 trillion. You get what I'm saying?
But it's not about that. What it is that, so they'll tell Alex Jones owes $1 billion, but it's not about that. It's about making him appeal and lose money and money and draining his bank account to where he's paying these lawyers. And so that's all it is. It's a slow death. It's not a, so that's what it is. And that's what it is about everybody. They want to painfully take away your money, painfully take away your ability to make money.
Death, though, then we're all gone. So I'm hoping he makes it. I mean, he's holding the front line.
Yeah. But that's a lot. That's, that's what it is. They will pull it out in court until you are bankrupt and have nowhere to go.
Yeah, you're right. No, they'll do that to you. But I mean, also too, there's people that have to step up and help them pro bono. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of attorneys out there that might not be stepping up now, but that are going to be like, holy crap, that can realize what's going on and be like, for the good of just the sake of my children and just everything I have, in my, I don't know, that I get to inherit, I need to step up, I mean,
but that's good and all. And I'm hoping there's a lot of people like that, but look at the two lawyers that were representing Trump in one of his lawsuits. They put out their address of where they worked, and people just flocked right to it and started calling and calling them, it was a woman and a man, and they were calling them all the names in the book, and they had to excuse themselves. So that's, it's unfortunate that that's where, we've come as a society, is that, we have no recourse to it. Everybody on one side is going to do what they have to do. And when you fight back, unfortunately, why is it that there's a video of a guy who was trying to, call out a transgendered who was trying to meet a child, Yet when the cops came, they went to the people who were filming him and saying that he was harassing them instead of the guy who was there to meet a child.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like the same thing, and it's
People have been
frustrating.
numb to it. That's why, whenever wars are fought, I guess the aggressor will come and get right by the border of another country and just run all these practice drills, right? You see, we've been introduced to transgenderism. We hear about it all the time. There's all these books and everything. There's the first trans, which doesn't fucking matter. It should be a meritocracy, but they soften you up to it. And these cops, they hear someone's trans wants to meet a kid. It's kind of like, okay, another day in the park, And not only that, they think about too. The DA probably isn't going to process anything. They want to hang people like me,
Yeah, which is sad. Look at San Francisco. They have a place. They have an app to tell you where people shit all over the place.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's what we need. We need an app where people shit. No, how about an app that tells me where I can get the best meal or where I can find the best girls or something like that? Why do I need why is there such shit on the floor technically that that there's an app for that?
Because that's utopia, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some people don't matter. Some people don't care about that kind of stuff. That's what I have to understand is that I'll never understand when people have this logic or lack thereof that aligns with this leftist ideology. Those are people that don't care as long as you're down with them. As long as, they don't care if they don't have anything nice, as long as you don't have anything nice either. And I don't understand that.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't, and it's funny how, these people all of a sudden out of nowhere make millions of dollars and become rich and all this nonsense. And, and I don't know.
Who's making millions of dollars becoming rich?
Well, what was it? Who is that guy? The guy you mentioned?
I was going to say Nancy Pelosi.
The guy you mentioned in one of your, the guy who just recently passed away that they had the big verdict of, not Eric Gardner.
Oh, you're talking about Joe DeMaio?
No, not Joe DeMaio. Wasn't he a serial killer?
Joe DeMaio was a Houston plaintiff attorney who represented Getty Oil whenever Pennzoil whenever Getty was selling their assets to Pennzoil, but Texaco, it was called tortious interference. Anyway, I was just making a point. He made $1.5 billion that he got to keep in one day.
Oh.
No, it was George Floyd family.
Oh, okay.
They sue the city. They become, and that's another thing. Like people think that, they sued the city. I can always sue the city. Do you understand where the city gets its money from? You.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to sue the city? That's your money that you're giving them. They're not personally liable for things.
Right.
Yeah, but people don't know better. Listen, whenever I went to law school out in Miami, this was before you could ignore politics to an extent. And they had this attorney. I don't know if you ever heard of him. If not, you need to Google him. His name's Ben Crump.
Yes. Yep. Trayvon Martin.
Thank you. That's all he talked about. And me not knowing, I was like, oh, cool. Who's this guy? He looks sharp. Well, what's he going to talk to us about today? And after that cinema, whatever thing they had with him that was mandatory we sat through, I looked at my friends and was like, this dude fucking hates white people. And like, he didn't help us at all. But the point I'm trying to make is if that's the kind of people that law schools are inviting to talk to people, that's the kind of mens rea or mental effect. That's the kind of people they're turning out. I'll never forget when I was in law, they kept on saying, when your boss asks, and I was just like, what if I start my own fucking firm? How about I sell this fucking house and go straight for billboards and live in my office, bitch? Like they are the gatekeepers and they want you scared and intimidated. And these are the guys and gals that couldn't make it in the real world. And these are the people that are churning out these new attorneys. And that's why there's so many liberals. Because just like a lot of these state governments, these schools are captured. And what screws them up is, okay, every law school has to meet the requirements of the ABA. And when the ABA, the American Bar Association, that credits these schools, okay, is captured and it's nothing but leftists and everyone's shown up, with purple hair, 2 masks, and, all they make is $45,000 a year, but they successfully sued the pants off a conservative group that was trying to stop a trans kid from having a surgery. You get what I'm saying? When you have the people putting pressure on all the law schools, all the law schools, you know what I'm saying? Like subsequently, all the people that want to get into law school are doing the bidding of the ABA. So it's just all these things are hijacked. And
Right.
if you were to apply to college now or any higher education, college or better, it'd be a joke. I mean, you'd have to write a diversity statement, talk about your struggle. They want to know your sexual orientation, all these things that just don't matter because we do not live in a meritocracy anymore. We live in, are you gay? Like, how far removed are you from straight white conservative male?
Well,
Right.
it's like an America's Got Talent audition. It's like, you know, my mother had cancer and
Well, it's
then my
always a
dog
sob story.
died.
Yeah. It's never, hey, I pulled up in a Rolls Royce and my dad, you know, like, bitch, I'm rich. You know what I'm saying? It's all they always want the sob story, and I think they want that because everyone watching is used to that and likes that, and that the demographic wants to hear that. You get what I'm
That-
saying?
That's what they're trying to still do with all this stuff. This Biden student loan forgiveness could be delayed as lawsuits mount. Here's where 6 major cases stand. So there's a bunch of lawsuits going against that. That all falls in line with like how you're saying even try to apply to college. People are applying to this. And where does that money come from? As Davey said earlier, from us.
Yeah.
It isn't no forgiveness. It's fucking from us. Like, damn it, people. Wish you people would quit thinking that the government, 90% of the government's income comes from us.
100%. There's nothing
No,
the
it's
government
like-
makes.
It's like 90 because like they get money from selling our debt and other shit. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, I mean, it goes to them, but it's like basically 90 or so percent of their income comes from us. They get some revenue from things, but it's really not much.
Yeah.
So it's like anything that goes out, basically, yeah, it's from us. So people need to fucking realize that and quit thinking it's from the government.
But they don't have that opportunity. It's a 24-hour news cycle. And the news
Yeah,
is
yeah.
5 to 6 every day. You have censorship. You have downplaying algorithms if they aren't going to censor you, you know. And then also none of this stuff is taught in schools. You know, it really hurts. You know, I sit and I listen to the things that this guy, the Greek, tells me, and like we just go over all these events that I've known my whole life. And he doesn't sound like this crazy conspiracy theorist. Like you can tell this guy's like lived it. I don't know if he's lived 1,000 lives. This guy's an enigma. But he's also telling me, he's like, what do you know about Lincoln's execution or whatever, when Lincoln was shot? I said, I don't know. We went toward the, the museum of where he was shot. He says, you remember the pistol? I said, yeah, it was real small. He goes, you know, that's a lady's pistol, right? I was like, really? He's like, his wife fucking shot him. And John Wilkes Booth was really Jesse James. He's like, if you try and find this out, he's like, they give you what's called a pink slip, as in like things are still not being uncovered about the death. And he's like, the wife was pissed and she got syphilis from Abe Lincoln. And he's just stepping me through all these things. He's like, look, it's okay. Look this up. Or he's like, type in this book. Look up this author. Da, 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 da. He starts pointing all these things out. Then he starts telling me about 9/11. And he starts telling me how Putin was in on it and how he had a sub off the coast of Virginia that shot a P-700 Granite missile with a clockwork brass spring mechanism in it that is not susceptible to a EMP to smoke Donald Rumsfeld's side. If you look, all the light railings are still up, so no plane with wings came through. And they smoked all the files that I think Gary McKenna accessed or was trying to access digitally. I don't know if you want to look up Gary McKenna, but he hacked into the Pentagon just for fun because he was trying to get money or transfer money or something for the pensioners that were freezing because the people that have their pensions in a certain area of the United Kingdom, they would freeze every year. And he found tons of people in space on payroll, all the patents that were never released for free energy of how to pull things down from the ether, like Tesla. I mean, we're surrounded by water, positive energy, and all these things, but we're not allowed to realize that cancer isn't a disease, nor is it hereditary. It is a symptom. And it's when a cell starts feeding on sugar. It's kind of like the body. If we fast enough and just quit eating carbs, we go into ketosis. Mm-hmm. And then imagine like us living on, okay, so ketosis is like the best. Okay, let's just call it stage 1. There's us running on blood sugars. And then there's cancer. That's like a third state. Like ketosis is like once removed from cancer. And when you quit eating all these carbs and all these things that will fuel a cancer cell, and cancer, how does cancer start? It's not hereditary because it's not in your genes. It's when a cell that was healthy flips and it doesn't know how to work anymore. It's kind of like, okay, you don't buy a Ford engine or a Ford that, you know, its engine is going to fucking die at a certain amount. Like it had to been not properly maintained. Like you didn't change the oil in 18,000 miles. It just locked up, right?
Right.
I could go on for days about that, but
Oh yeah, I do that shit quite a bit actually. Well, for me at least, like health wise, I quit eating really sugar and anything a few years ago. I've been doing the fasting. I lost like 30 pounds from it, and a lot of that shit is just terrible for you. All the processed sugars and
But
all
now
that.
you can avoid it, and it's always convenience in exchange for corruption. You know, like
Yeah.
McDonald's is right there in the corner, but you're gonna get all the GMO in it. You know, you can get on YouTube. You don't really know of any other app, maybe Rumble, but you're gonna get censorship and ads. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
always convenience in exchange for corruption. That's how they
Yeah.
get.
This is true. I just had them cut my stomach out. That's all. I
Mhm.
said, just take it. I said, take it. Go ahead. I'm done. I
don't
don't
need
want
it.
to eat a steak ever again. A whole one.
Don't talk
Yeah.
about it.
By the way, speaking of steak, that tomahawk looked phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. My mouth started watering.
Dude, y'all, I want to open up a steakhouse. I got a menu, a plan, everything. I have a huge wine list.
Yes.
Expert in wine. Like if someone would just fund me, dude, we would have something that would beat the pants off Jeff Ruby's or Steve Wynn or something, man. I can.
So what's your favorite thing to cook then?
Oh, steak, of course. Steak and wine, man. Good bold Bordeaux or a Napa Cab. I don't know if y'all familiar with wine or
A little, not too much.
Not too much, a little.
never mind, then I won't go about it.
I know. What is it? Cask and Bell?
I'm
Bell
more
and
of a
glass, Bell and Gloss.
say, well, I'm more of a bourbon.
Gloss is a Russian Red River Valley Pinot Noir owned by the Wagner family.
Hmm.
They make Camus and all that too. Marisol, all that. That's a Merlot. Okay, yeah. Bell Gloss, it has the red wax.
Yeah. That's the
It's 3 vineyards, and then
That's the only one I know because I went out with a buddy of mine and we went out for steaks and he's like, "Yeah, you want to try this wine?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, he pulled it out.
$45. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a deep, rich red Pinot Noir. Almost looks like a cab if you don't know what you're doing, but it's red fruit driven. Yeah.
It's delicious though.
It is. I like bold wine like that. I love shit like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so what else what about you? Like what about you? Like what personally? Like what do you like to do? Do you like to you're in Louisiana?
Yes,
Do
sir.
you like to fish? You like to, ski,
about
swim?
Hobbies, really, man. I really don't have a life. I really was supposed to be a big time billboard attorney, and before that, I was supposed to be a big oilman. But I've had my dreams crushed, and I've had to reinvent myself several times. My father, has a huge corporation, and it's called John Pack, and he owns he inherited a lot of stuff. Look, I'm happy for him. I'm not jealous of what he has. I'm jealous of the fact he had opportunities for upward mobility, and my grandfather handed everything down to him. And it's like he's not compounding the family interest. So as you can tell, I'm very butthurt about that. It has made me a better person not having everything handed to me, but I'm sitting here and you see the remnants of when I did have money. So at 18, I thought I was going to work for my father, start working at family business. Fuck no. I started off as a roustabout, went to work offshore, and then worked my way up into the Houston office. I was at TPIC for 11 years to the day when they were killing people and covering up, kicking body parts and stealing and stuff. What's
What's TBIC? What is that?
Petroleum Investment Company.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Superintendent people and covering it up. I wasn't down with it, so they paid me a bunch of money to leave. They kicked me out, forced me out 11 years to the day. So I said, "Fuck this." And after I was promised by one of the owners, "Hey, if we sell or if you keep staying here, we're going to give you a chunk or we're going to give you millions." All this stuff. I was told that twice. And you don't fuck around with me like that. Like I hold you accountable. I'm dead ass with all that kind of shit. I'm never late. I never make excuses. I never anything. And then so I said, fuck this. As I drove home from Houston, I enrolled in law school. Got into a law school in Miami. Got a scholarship out there. And when I was in law school, I was working at a prestigious bankruptcy firm. You can look it up. It's called Eorm Young. It's one of the biggest in North Louisiana. And I had a girlfriend in my dorm, and I didn't realize. I was blind to this. I didn't realize the leftists that hated me at that school that were making up things about me. And one night they called the cops on me when I was sleeping in bed with my girlfriend because I had a girl in my dorm. And yes, having a girl in your dorm is against the rules. Yes, now you got me on that. But
Whoa! What do you mean it's against the rules? You can't have girls in your dorm? When I was in college for about 36 minutes, I had girls in my dorm, and I was in girls' dorms all the time.
Well, here's the deal. I'm so sorry. You're not allowed to have an outside girl that's not a student there. Forgive me.
Okay.
I was dating a young lady at the time, and it was about 8:30 because I go to bed early, y'all. After this, I'm gonna go scrape my fangs. I'm fucking crashing out. And the cops bust in, like, you know, I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, I thought it was some sort of joke. I was waiting for Ashton Kutcher, and they literally yank me out of bed, arrest me, and throw me in the truck as if I was arrested or something. I'm not joking. I have all the dash cam. I have everything.
Jesus.
And since Leslie was getting beat, okay, since she's the victim, they don't let her have the keys to the truck, wallet, shoes, anything. Kick her off campus in the biggest sex trafficking city in the United States. And I'm like, okay, like that just doesn't even make any sense. Like
Hold. Time out. You can't just gloss over the fact that she's getting
they
beat.
gloss over a lot. Y'all haven't even heard most of it. So I get kicked out of school, sent to jail, and then I keep on applying to try and get back in. They won't transfer my transcript. Okay. They won't help out. They won't even send a letter of attendance to another school that I got into in Naples, Florida, called Ava Marie, which they were awesome. And that's a big red county. I really wanted to go there. But they're like, well, we need everything from you. I'm like, what do I do when they won't give it to me? But of course, law schools, they won't talk to each other. You have to do it. I don't know if y'all have ever been in higher education. You get past college, like there are some high horse riding things. Like, you need to do this. You got to. And I'm like, okay, well, there's no provisions for whenever you've exhausted all of the things that you're asking. And so that's a complete joke. So what happened?
I went to college for, like I said, 36 minutes, and I was just like, and to get into there, they're like, you got a 2.0? Sounds good.
Oh, good for you, man. Well, I hope you had a good experience.
It was a great time. That's why I only stayed there for a little while. I got in too much trouble. I got too much freedom. I was always in trouble as a kid, so not in trouble with the law. Just I didn't, I had ADHD.
I had a bad attitude. Never drugs or anything. I don't have a record, but I mean,
yeah. I just talked. I just wouldn't shut up. That's what the teacher said. Oh, Dave's a great kid. He'd be great if he just shut up. And it was funny because I was just, we moved out here. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Jersey, New York, New Jersey. And I moved out to Kansas. And so when we moved out here, like I was looking through all my stuff and I found all my like, what's it called? The report that they send out in between a report card, between report cards or something like that. I forget what they're called, but I was reading through it and it was all
interim report.
Yeah, something like that. And it was all, David's a great student. He just talks too much. Next, David's a great student. He just talks too much. Next, David's a great student. It was just like, yeah, if I just shut up, but I couldn't shut up. I just keep talking and talking.
You're social.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I never, and it would seem like it was particular, like it's kind of like trying to get into a housing complex where they're just like, well, you did in 1992 have a speeding ticket, so you're not allowed to be here. That's what they do in New York. I don't know if you know. Have you ever been to the East Coast?
They bet you to that extent.
Yeah, in New York City.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's to get into like. Is to get the minimum. I think they said now the average in New York is $5,000 a month, and I'm talking about if there's a TikTok on TikTok, New York apartments. There is literally an apartment with no toilet, no kitchen, no bedroom. It's just a room, like a extended closet, probably about the size of the room I'm in right now. $1,200 a month.
That's ridiculous.
$1,200 a month. New York. I don't understand how people stay there. Like I really don't. I don't understand.
They're in denial. You get what I'm saying? My mom's out in New Orleans and she won't leave. You know what I'm saying? Like she even texted me before I came on. She's like, someone's car got broken into, and I'm like, what the fuck are you still doing? Like, there's people shitting on the street, sodomizing 8-year-olds. I'm like, okay, you can get in your fucking car and drive away, but it's learned helplessness. Yeah. It's this normalcy bias.
Well, that was the thing during the whole pandemic and everything like that. I lived in Jersey and I was just watching, and I grew up in New York. My grandparents lived in New York, so I was there. Typical Puerto Rican, my grandparents on the weekend, my parents during the week. So I would literally be in New York, and I was looking at Times Square, and there was nobody. I've never seen it in my entire life. in my whole life, I've never seen nobody in Times Square, and it was just desolate. And they were saying that the homeless was going around with bats, like in, you ever see Police Academy?
With Mahoney.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Steve Gutenberg and all them. That's what it was like. If you watch Police Academy, that's exactly what New York turned into. And that's what it is now. Like, people will just go in, steal shit, and just leave.
Oh
And
yeah,
they'll just be
it's
like,
terrible.
oh well, and the cops won't do nothing because the cops don't want. But yeah, man, it's gotten so bad out there. And
Like
and
that one,
I'm glad.
that one fucking Grand Theft Auto video where that guy fucking the SUV. Well, the SUV was going down, and this guy in his Audi fucking hit the side of it, then hit it
Yes.
again on the side just to get
Yeah.
out, grab this guy's cash, get back in the Audi, and take off. Like,
And that's an
Wow.
everyday occurrence in New York. Like, and
Hey, remember-
nothing will happen.
they got a brand.
Kansas don't got a brand. New York
Yeah.
got a brand.
New
It's
York's
Don't
got a
Die.
brand. Yeah,
Oh.
it's don't die, bitch.
I really don't get how people don't leave cities. Like, but I mean, they do. I mean, because California lost what, 1 million, 12 million people, something like that.
You're going to keep on, but think of all the people they're going to import, all the trans, all the people that want all these surgeries, all the people that are attracted. They're going to further segregate into these big cancer hubs. And the thing about Democrats is, and the leftist ideology is, they bitch about us, but they don't want to live without us. They need that subjugation.
Mm-hmm.
We are perfectly fine living on a fucking farm. I'm not saying we're all these country conservative people. I mean, I'd love to have a big mansion in Florida, just fucking, like I always say, Rolls Royces, chinchilla, everything, right? But the thing is like, we could live without leftists.
Right.
They live without us. They love rules. They love subjugation. You get what I'm saying? That, oh my God, the government said it, now I have to relay it onto you. Like, there's no stopping thinking, when they're like, okay, the government just said, put a dildo in your ass, cut off your tits, and go bobbing for apples in a vat of acid. Let's do it now. Everyone underneath me that's a lower rank, let's do it now. They don't,
As long as it's for the greater good and everyone else is going to be better off.
it's for the greater good, the term of art. See, there's
Right.
the greater good and then the greater good.
Well, it's like people talk about that national divorce deal, and I'm like, bring it. Like, I'm sorry, but if a national divorce happened where they take 25 states, we take 25. Okay.
Oh man, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
25, dude. If we can just get Texas, California, and Florida and kick them all out of everything else, it could be 3 and 47, dude.
Right.
Well, that's actually, it's so funny because liberals are actually brainwashed into thinking that the red states need the blue states. That's what I've heard. I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've heard that more than you can think of.
self-awareness. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, like, the red states need us. It's like, no, they don't. The red states are the one with all the corn, the wheat, the farms, all that stuff. Without all that stuff, and it was funny because in the beginning of the pandemic, also, everybody was like, oh yeah, we're getting all this money. Like, dude, do you not understand? If you're getting all this money and nobody's working, how do you think the meat gets to Walmart? The meat just doesn't magically appear at Walmart. The meat doesn't.
And for payment protection plan,
To the PPP, business protection plan, something like that. Yeah. But I mean, people don't understand that you have to work. You have to kill the pig. You have to slaughter it. You have to cut it. You have to put it in a packaging. All that stuff has to happen.
The shelves being stocked. It's the normalcy bias. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just
that's
like,
that's why they're trying to end it. Like Bill Gates is. He's trying to do his fucking lab grown horse shit, and he's buying up all that land and everything else.
And that's the stuff we know about. Those are the things that gain public access.
Right.
Imagine all the things they're doing behind closed doors.
Oh, the people are like Vanguard and shit. People are just learning about Vanguard, BlackRock. Yeah.
BlackRock, State Street, and Fidelity. It's the big four.
And people wonder, like, why do they want to crash the economy? Well, they crash the economy so other people can't come back into business and own shit. Why? Because that falls hand in hand with you'll own nothing and be happy. Who will? Vanguard, BlackRock, fucking Klaus Schwab, and all those assholes.
And State Street. Vanguard has all of its CEOs not listed. Also, Vanguard and BlackRock have something illegal going on. They have cross stock in each other's cross holdings.
Yeah.
So they're called mezzanine companies or portfolio companies. And Larry Fink, of course, at BlackRock. Vanguard, you don't know. And when Vanguard owns some of BlackRock, BlackRock owns some of Vanguard. That's just like such a cross fuck of agenda. Like they both have to be in sync, like syndicated, and whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? To have that. But also, too, there's something really unique about Fidelity and their tie with the Federal Reserve and their State Street. So those are your big four. and all they need to do is go and buy 51% of something. You can say they don't have to go acquire you. They just need the controlling majority, and they're fine.
Yep.
That's why Apple has all these pride flags and gets rid of Parler. That's why all these companies that you love, like I don't know if these are ones in their portfolio, but like I don't know, Ben and Jerry's. Okay, now they have a Juneteenth ice cream. You see that you can't business and be owned by these guys and want to keep running if you're not going to cower to whatever or support.
But that falls in with that ESG bullshit, the environmental social governance. That's going to be the corporate social credit score. Like we're going to have our own social credit score. You see, by every time that we get banned and shit now, they're keeping track of shit like that. Like whenever you're a bad boy and you get kicked off of everything and all that shit, whenever they end up trying to bring in this CBDC, central bank digital currency, you're going to be on some level of having this much of something and not of this. And it's going to fall right in line the way that China does their bullshit. And they're already going to be doing it. I mean, they're already starting to in ways, but
they did it with him. They did it with him. They Googled him and won't give him any money.
See?
So it's starting already.
Yeah.
Blackball.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. But it's like, what else do I do, man? Do I cower? Do I go put on a mask and wear a pride shirt, and then that way I can get the mask? Like, do I sell my soul? No, I know. I say that rhetorically.
I know.
Like, it doesn't even lead to prosperity. Like I could understand if they're like, lose 30 pounds, apply for this grant, and I don't know, do this thing for humanity. But like it's bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Like wearing the mask, like that's just on its face is so retarded. They're not asking anything good of you. So it's like, I'd rather struggle like this and just add momentum and minutia to this counterculture, which actually is the standard culture or what this country was founded on, which is now the counterculture, if you will.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Counterculture. But I don't know, man. It's like it's like a gut level thing. I'm not someone that was duped by the whole COVID agenda. Now, I was too young when all the 9/11 stuff happened, but on my, I don't want to say subconscious, but I always did wonder with the footage I did see when I was that age, I was in 7th grade, why those buildings fell perfectly, you know what I'm saying? And then later I looked at, before all the censorship, like the Greek says, the golden age of the internet, 2010 to 2020, when you could find things, I learned also about Building 7, and I was like, wait, that makes no sense. And like the first stage of understanding pretty much everything we know is a lie is understanding that this government doesn't mind killing us, and this government is always trying to blame things on us and get us to pick up the load and bear the brunt of something. And once you can understand that, see, a lot of people, they can't get past, there's no way our government killed all those innocent people on 9/11. And that's a barrier for them. A lot of people probably that had things happen, like my uncle was a firefighter. How dare you? Fuck you for doing it. It's like, hold on, man. It's that exact thought. It's that exact reaction that's keeping you in this paradigm. Okay? I'm sure your Uncle Larry was a great fucking kick-ass dude. I'll help you go wipe down the damn tombstone with you. Okay, like I'll buy you fucking plane lunch. That's not it, dude. You need to look. Did those buildings, like, they vaporized and not a goddamn plane part was found? Like, can we start there? Because that's not like, can we just start there and just like pull slowly with me? Pull. Like, I'm not trying to piss you off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, what was it? There's a really good site that's still up. What's it? A&E911.org, that architectsанdengineers.org, where I think it has over 3,000 architects and engineers to talk about all the shit on 9/11. They bring up so many buildings that were on fire for hours, like so many floors and
cities. That's another thing that none of these rural people probably understand is the fact that you can't just go erect a skyscraper, okay, without it, being able to take X amount of plane or impacts per, decade. It's got to be able to flex and absorb that, and then have those whatever affected floors, renovated without screwing up the law firm above and the sweatshop of people below. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we could just add common sense to the equation, it just it's so fast. And then World Trade Center 7 is just it's a fucking joke. It's
it came down so fucking controlled demolition style. It was ridiculous. Yeah, just straight, just on top of it.
No. implode, then came down. Vegas.
Oh yeah.
It's such a joke, and then the government pisses. But the thing is when we buy it, when they don't get enough resistance, it emboldens them. Okay, do it. Let's do something else. You know what I'm saying? They got away with Oklahoma City, okay, which the fake bombs or the bombs that what's his name, Timothy McVeigh had, they blew up and down and just left a crater, and then the 4 tanks or whatever of the 4 plastic drums. But that federal building blew out right there by the daycare and blew all those little children to smithereens, which is horrible. I hate talking about it so just nonchalantly. Like, those are little babies, bro. And I came from we were all babies at once that just drooled on shit and shit in our drawers, like precious angels. It really fucks with me when I think about it. But I don't want to get caught up. I gotta pound out the facts. Just like 9/11, they immediately demolished the building after and didn't allow any engineer within 200 meters of that place. Like, it's insane. Like, the similarities will freak you the fuck out when you go back and look at all that kind of stuff. It's all staged. Okay. And what they blow up? All the records of all the guys who are getting Gulf War sickness, okay, which was their vaccine program during that time that was killing people. We are test subjects. We are lab rats. We are cockroaches to these people. Okay.
Well, that's like how I feel about the jibby jab right now. I kind of think that a lot of people got saline too, because I think that it was more of like distributed in ways to where it wasn't going to affect as many people as maybe it could.
There's different lots. You're exactly right. Some were, and I think some weren't even tainted. They were going to fuck you up, but they weren't stored properly, and so they just naturally I don't know the proper terminology. Forgive me, I'm not a microbiologist or virologist or whatever. But it was gonna screw you up, but it timed out and wasn't stored at negative whatever degrees, and it was
right.
Just some were saline, some were supposed to fuck you up, but they were duds. There's so much we could speculate with that probably is extremely practical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but the problem is you can't have a differing opinion now. All of a sudden, people
we can have a different opinion as long as we're on the fringe, and as long as we're not, as long as we're willing to accept that we won't be amplified. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
We keep on building this fringe, and we just, we want the walls to close in on these people. That's the thing. Our very existence, the fact that we're doing this tonight, that this goes down on the record, and that we're all going to share this, and we're 3 fucking straight dudes, that just aren't going to, even if our opinions on the end result of how these things happen differ, okay? The fact that we're actually doing this and we get off our ass, we're not tied into an Xbox right now and or with our VR goggles, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Out, supporting trans lives matter or whatever, is a defiance to them. Okay. And
I mean, come on. Have you ever used an Oculus? It's fun as shit.
Some chick I was dating, her kid had one, and it was actually pretty cool. But
yeah, I just bought another one. Me and my wife were playing putt golf, and I just saw her big head next to me, and we were playing. It's fun. It's fun. I get it, and I get it. I get how you ever see that movie Player One?
Yeah, Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
No.
Yeah,
no.
It's a good movie, and I mean, and you can understand how people will just get sucked into this, live in a trailer, and just and
that's how they.
I always said we're gonna end up like WALL-E. We're going to end up like WALL-E. I mean, Demolition Man was part 1. WALL-E is part 2 of where we're going in this world. And it sucks.
We can stop it. We could have a renaissance if we wanted. I always say that, man. Like, it's in our control. It's how bad do we want it? And they want us to have this image, they want us to think we're defeated. They want all this stuff. But I'm living proof that it hasn't worked on everyone. That's why you heard what I said. It resonated, and you had me on your show, which, again, I appreciate both of you.
Yeah.
There are more of us. There has to be. I mean, I can't go down without a fight. I will shove my foot so far up their fucking ass, until they fucking whack me or disappear me. I don't know what else to do. And I'm not trying to act tough or anything. This dude's out there bigger, stronger, and they can beat my fucking ass, but like, I'm at least going to cock back and try and swing back. I'm not just going to bend over and ass cheeks for you.
Yeah. But that's what they want you to do. I mean, but it's funny because I was kind of the same way, and I lived in Jersey, and everybody in Jersey was just mass. And I said to this one lady, and this is kind of like the psychosis of how they were able to get these people. And I said, this lady was wearing a mask. She's like, "You're not wearing a mask?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because the mask is not going to make a difference." She goes, "Yes, it is. It'll make a huge difference." I go, "Okay, I'm going to hand you this receipt. Okay, you're going to take the receipt. You're going to walk out of here. You're going to touch that door handle, that door handle. You're going to go in your car. You're going to touch that door handle. You're going to get in your car. You're going to take the gloves that you have, take your mask off, wipe it on your face, and then what? And then all the germs that you were trying to avoid are now on your face, and you're going to get sick anyway. So what's the difference?" And she just blatantly looked at me right in the face and goes, "Well, I was having a good day until you spoke." And I'm like, I'm just trying to be real with you, man.
Bad guy because you broke down the logic. You see?
But
right.
that's the thing, because if you think about things logically, and that's all it is, just think logically for a second. I had an argument with my father because I met my wife during the pandemic, and I went down to meet her in Georgia, and my father had a titty attack, and on the screen right behind him on the television was a protest of Black Lives Matter. And I look at him and I go, "Why is it that me going down to Georgia is a stupid thing, but turn around on your TV and that's fine?" Well, they have a plan. Yes, Dad, because they have a plan and they have a purpose. The virus is going to be like, "Hey guys, don't worry about them.
Leave them alone."
Their purpose is a lot better, you know. And it's just it's stupid. It's just the way, and it's just like, and then they get angry. It's just like, "Well, you don't understand." No, I understand.
They project their anger onto you, and it's like, look, if you want to live like this, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you see how they want you to be subjugated to.
Right. It's like the authoritarianism aspect
Of this onto you, and it's like, okay, when I see the guy riding around in the Rolls Royce with the hot wife and all these things I admire, you know, I don't get pissed at him. I go, you know what, motherfucker probably worked his ass off. So it's like, get off of my fucking ass. You want to wear a mask? You want to put a dildo up your fucking ass? You want to be a fucking beta cut bitch ass faggot? You go do your thing. Let some big Rambo dude bang your fucking wife and you jerk off in the closet, okay?
right.
Get out, I'm gonna fucking earn my shit. Is me not wearing a mask even affecting your fucking life other than offending you? Okay, bitch, please get fucked. Now understand, my dad acted like a bitch too. I said, "Dad, I love you so much." I said, "I know you never gave me anything, but I fucking love you. Do not take that shot." "Okay, son, I promise." I came a week later. I said, "Dad, don't you fuck around. I know you got a lot of rich doctor friends." What does he do? He gets it, then he gets another one. And then he gets mad at me when he gets sick. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And to this day, my dad is not the fucking same, dude. I'm telling you, it's like 10 or 20% of his soul was sucked out with that shit. Boo fucking who. A lot of people have it worse. Some people probably don't even fucking know their dad. Some people probably had dads that beat them. The point I'm trying to say is, like, it just blows my mind how people just want to go along. And it's because of all the pressure. It's because of this image of this bravado minutia. But I see we've gone over. Should we stop here?
No, we can.
We can go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, anyway, if y'all want to just conclude, I mean, we've been here for over an hour, so I don't want to mess up the deal.
We usually go an hour and a half. It just, like I said, it's whatever it is. We just hang
anywhere,
out and chill, and it just, you know, we just go, man. There's no need for, you know, hour. Listen, if we're into it, we're into it, and that's what, you know.
Oh, okay, I just know. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what we're about. I mean, if you
what I do gotta say is badass guns behind you. Both AK-47s I see there.
There's an AK-47 and AK-74. Yes, sir.
Oh, hell yes, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Y'all want to break it off here? And we do a part 2 on another day.
Yeah.
Listen, we'd love to have you back on, man. It just, you know,
well, I didn't set it all pretentiously, so you can edit all this out. I'm just saying, like,
we're live, dude.
Yeah,
we're live. So
yeah. Well, let's do a part 2 if y'all would like to. I mean, there's tons of shit we could say, but I like to break it off an hour.
Oh, dude, yeah, because there's a lot of shit. Like, especially now, I know how you think and shit. I gotta, pick your brain about some shit too.
I can fuck y'all up, dude. Y'all need to look into the Greek. Y'all need to look into the Greek, the guy at Tucson, Arizona. That's gonna fucking rock your fucking world.
Hell yeah.
Uncommon Radio, Greekspeak.com. And if y'all can find somewhere this guy, Chuck Ocelli with Ocelli and the Greek, it is going to rock your fucking world. Dude.
Right on. Hell yeah.
Dude. Anyway,
yeah,
I always think like after an hour, people like just tuned out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. That's
that's
kind of
not-
that's kind of about how I figured it too. Like whenever he joined in with the
after an
podcast
hour,
because
people
I
gotta take shit. People gotta take a call. People gotta like,
right. Well, I had this podcast for a couple of years before Davey ended up joining, and he was like, "Around how long do you figure?" And we've had up to 2 hours before. But I'm
No,
like,
no, sometimes
but
I
I'm
can't-
like what you said. Most people like to around an hour,
I
maybe
just
an
want
hour and a half.
manageable chunk. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all heard
Right.
enough of my fucking life.
But
Listen,
well,
you're-
on that note, we'll go ahead and start playing this, and let's get a little bit more into your life. Plug yourself again.
Oh, okay, yeah. So again, my name is Alexander John. I go by Zan John. I'm running for Senate in Louisiana, and it's been a pleasure to be on this show. And I just everyone's time with you. Thank you for being able to listen to that.
Yeah, no, thank you for being on, man. Like I said, saw your stuff, and it was just right in line where we were thinking of a lot of stuff, and appreciate you coming on, and you opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that I got to look into and check out.
Please do. And after you all that, then let's have the next fucking episode.
Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely will. You can find me Midwest Troublemaker on TikTok, MW Troublemaker on Twitter. Just like I say every week, we're not here to change your mind. We're just here to open your mind. That's all.
Hell yeah. And Biz Party Podcast on Twitter, Business Party Podcast on Instagram, and Party of the Business on TikTok, and fuck the moon, we're going to Uranus.
Yes,
Looking
son.
forward- Later.